Hi guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We are going romantic route this day. We are gonna do a Valentine's Day look. This is the look that I created for you guys. I used nothing of the new products. All of them were like staples in my collection. I really wanted to go like on a monochromatic route, and that's really what I did. So if you guys are ready to see how I achieved this look, then please keep on watching. Okay, let's begin. I just cleaned my face, so we have to go through the skincare as well as like the makeup routine. So let's begin. I'm gonna first take my Merit Beauty's Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. This is like the first step that I really like to put on my face, especially when I'm like looking for like a glowy face. So I put like 2 pumps on my face and I'm just gonna press it on my skin. I don't want like too much of glow on my skin, but I do want like a lasting makeup, a matte, a glam, but like a soft look, not like super glittery or anything like that. So we'll see. Basically going for like a soft romantic look on the face. For the primer, I'm going to take this Catrice Prime and Fine primer, and this is like a matte and a long lasting primer, but it is not like a silicone primer, it's more like a moisturizing one. So I'm going to take that and put it majorly on the center of the face, but whatever is left on, I'm just going to massage it all over my face. As you can see, I definitely have like blemishes going on. So no perfect skin here. Just like that. Now, whenever I'm going for like that, a special occasion look or anything like glam, or like when I want to look like flawless, I basically have like a few foundations in my mind, and this is definitely one of them. And this is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. In this, I am in the shade 485, which is Golden Sun. So let's put that. I'm gonna take like 1 pump. One pump first. I'm gonna take my BK Beauty 101 foundation brush and then start applying first on the center of my face and then drag it towards the outer corners. I think I'll need 1 more pump. So let's take 1 more pump. Right there. And this just gives like an effortless look, a very smooth finish, like a medium to full coverage on the skin, but without looking super heavy. And now for the concealer. If you guys know, if I'm going for like a special occasion, this is the concealer of my choice. And this is Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer, and this one is in the shade 140. So let's put that. I'm going to take the same foundation brush and just blend out wherever we applied on the face and just skip the under eyes. I do the under eyes the last just because I want more coverage underneath the eyes. So I just let it sit for like a good 30 seconds, and then we can go with our concealer brush and then start putting that and blending that underneath the eyes. This, by the way, is a Refer brush, and this is number 35. Perfect for concealer. Actually, you can apply the eye primer also with it. It's like a big chubby round buffing brush, but perfect for under eyes. It's not like too big, but as compared to like small eye brushes, it's definitely more buffed, more rounded, more full, more dense, just like that. And that just seamlessly blends everything. And this is super soft, just like that. Now, before it creases underneath the eyes, I want to set my under eyes, and I'm going to use my LYS Triple Fix Setting Powder, this one, and this is in the shade Resilience. I'm going to take a powder puff and dab it on the hand and then press it underneath the eyes. And it immediately You can see how smooth it becomes on this side as compared to this side. I've absolutely loved this technique. I'm mainly focusing it on the T-zone because I am going to go with like a few cream products too. Now I have a cream blush, so let's apply that first. This is the She Glam cream blush, actually liquid blush. And this one is in the shade Rose Ritual. Really pretty, very romantic shade. So I'm going to apply that on my cheeks. Super blendable too. I'm gonna apply it on a little more heavier hand right now. I'm not focusing on like blending too much just because I'm gonna place a powder all over my face next, and that will just soften up the entire look. So I'm gonna take the same LYS powder with a big fluffy brush and just blend out everything on my face and just set my makeup in place. See how it just softens everything up? Really pretty. Okay, now for the bronzer. I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario bronzer, and this one is in the shade Medium Dark. It's a very nice neutral tone bronzer for my medium to tan skin tone. So I'm going to take that on this Real Techniques brush. This is the blush brush. There's no rules to makeup. I use the blush brush for my bronzer and nobody can stop me. It's super soft. I love this for blush too, but I've recently loved this kind of brushes for my bronzer application too. And this is so soft, so affordable, and so high-end quality. Really, really pretty. Now, once we have that bronzer all across our face, I'm going to take the same powder puff with no additional powder, and I'm just going to place that right there on the center because I really want that brightness here in the center of the face, and I don't want like much of like blush or bronzer here. So I'm just going to pat it right there, again with no additional product, just patting whatever is left over on the powder puff. Now, for the powder blush, I want to take this. How appropriate is this for the Valentine's Day? This is the ColourPop blush in the shade Let's Dance. So let's put that. This one. And then I'm going to take this on the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy brush, A507. Just going to take that. And I'm going to place that here on the extreme end. It's a very similar tone of that She Glam blush, but because we want that rosiness to pop through, I am going to set it with a powder blush too, just like that. And now for the highlighter, I'm going to take this Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighter, and this one is in the shade Iced. It's a very light toned champagne shade. So let's apply this. This is going to be a little blinding. So I'm going to take that. Can you see that? Can you see that? Let's distribute it on both the cheekbones, because we definitely are not looking for like a stripe on the face. I wanted to melt it down on my cheeks. But I'm also not looking for like a golden highlight. So that's why I wanted to look like a little more on the icier side, especially for this look. I'm going to take the same highlighter on the bridge of the nose, on the tip of the nose. Now let's move on to the brows. I'm going to finish off my eyebrows with this Maybelline Express brow pencil, and this one is in the shade Medium Brown. Now before we move on to the eyes, let's set our face, and I'm going to use my NYX Matte Finish Fini Matte Setting Spray. I'm almost out of this. Okay, now we have the face all done. Let's move on to the eyes. I have 3 palettes in front of me which I want to really play with. I want to dip into the Hindash Monochromance for the mattes or anything like blending related. I really want to dip into these. This shade particularly, I would say, and the first one. So let's see about that. I mainly want to use this Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette because I feel like these tones are super, super romantic. Really love it. And if you're looking for like a pink eyeshadow, which is the brand that comes to your mind first and foremost, it's Pat McGrath. So I definitely wanted to dip into the Celestial Odessey palette too, because this has some beautiful pinks to dip into. So we'll see. Let's go with the flow and see where do we land. So let's begin. First, I want like a very smooth base. So I'm going to first dip into this Hindash's palette with the shade Heavy. And I'm going to place that majorly like a transition shade until my brow bone. This eyeshadow, it just blends so beautifully. If this is applied like a first step, I mean, you don't have to worry about blending at all. This is a very buildable formula. You won't get like pigment all of a sudden like in the first step, but you have to like build it slowly. But that just, you know, takes care of the harshness of the eyeshadow. I'm also going to take like the middle of this shade, like Heavy and Petal both together, and I'm going to take that on the lower lash line and just join it to my upper eye shade. Now for a little more punchiness, let's dip into this palette, and I'm going to take this shade, this one. Definitely more pink, more punchy. Now we are dipping into the crease shade. The Hindash's palette was more for like transition. This is more for the crease. Look how punchy that is. It's like, it has like that punch, but mutedness at the same time. Like, is it a bubblegum pink? No. Is it like a hot pink? No. Like, so super wearable, but also super beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to dip into this deep dark shade. And this one is in the shade Nocturne. So let's dip that. I'm going to place it here and then mix it with that pink shade for a little bit of depth. I'm also taking that on the outer corners of the lower lash line just to tie everything together. Going back into that blending brush and then just blending the edges so that there's no harsh lines. I can dip back into this shade, like the deeper shade, as well as that bubblegum pink shade. Tap off the excess and just blend it all up, just so that everything melts. Okay, now if you want to see the beauty of the Hindash's palette, let me show you. Now if you see, you can see like a little bit of harshness happening here. Dipping back into Hindash's palette, I'm going to take this shade for the pinkiness, but also this for my skin tone shade. I'm going to mix these two together just so that I get like a pinky skin tone shade, and then start blending the edges, and you'll see harsh lines vanishing away. Can you see that? Yeah, I know. This powder definitely has some magic. Okay, now dipping into the Huda Beauty palette, I'm going to take Off Balance, and I'm just going to place that here because I want that like lavenderiness just towards like the inner part. Can you see this difference and this difference? And that's what we are looking for. Just a little more cool toneness on the eye. Just like that, taking the same shade on the lower lash line. I'm going to take a little bit of glitter glue and just place a tiny little bit on top of the eyelids. I'm going to first start off with this shade, and then I'm going to follow up with this shade on the inner corners. Let's do that. Let's start this here in the center of my eyelid. Just like that. Going a little bit more on the diagonal end. And then I'm going to take this shade. It's more like a rose goldy shade, I would say. And I'm placing that on the inner part. This shade definitely has that sparkle and the shine that we all love. And I'm melting that with that pink shade, the pink shimmer shade. Okay, now for the lower lash line, I'm going to take this shade, which is Hot Mess. And I'm just placing that very close to the tight line, like that. Like very smoky, deep at the same time. I'm going to take this shade, which is Galaxy. And I'm placing that on the inner corner. Just like that. That's such a pretty shade. Actually, I'm going to take that and then just melting it into that rose gold shade, just so that I get a little more lightness in the look. Like that. Just melting it with that. Now, I'm going to take this shade, which is Supernova. This one, it's like a duochrome. And this will help to melt that rose gold with that pink shade really nicely. So I'm just going to press that with my fingers right in the center, like that. And I don't know if you can see that in camera or not, but in real life, that gives such a beautiful effect, just like that. Now just melting everything up with no additional product. And then I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. So that's the eye look all completed. Now I'm going to finish off my lips again. KKW Beauty 2.5. Don't kill me. Now for the lipstick, I have two options. Should we do Amorosa or Rose Nude? I mean, both of them would be really good. Let's do Rose Nude. It gives such a soft blurring look. I really like it. It's a very monochromatic kind of look. I really, really love it. I also had like a gloss. I don't know if you need it or not. Let's apply a little bit. And this is Tower 28's Coconut. Just like that. Just in the center. Oh, it gives so much of glossy look. And that is my final look. I really loved how monochromatic and romantic the whole look came out to. And I love going like monochromatic with the makeup as well as my clothes. You know that very well. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's Valentine's Day look. Are you going like the traditional pink route this Valentine's Day? Are you dipping into like red and purples? Or are you just going anti-Valentine's Day and dipping into some other colors like blues? Do let me know. I would be very, very curious. I really wish all of you a very, very happy Valentine's Day. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.